Hello and welcome to the Stampscapes Scenic Makeover, where we take this anemic looking existing scene and make it look nice and vibrant and rich and really an entirely new, kind of scenic scenario. Okay, now this is an old scene that I did in a video years ago, and the colors became very anemic over the years. I went with a certain brand of inks, and it was supposed to look kind of misty and light, but it just kind of looked, very, like I said, anemic. So one of the things I'm going to show you here is a way to kind of inject new life into the scene. This one's going to be much more of an extreme version of that. You can see I'm kind of applying a thick layer of additional dye-based inks over the top, and I'm running into a lot of white pigment ink that was already applied on there, so that's adding a kind of an additional layer of complication because it's becoming a thick paste and it's not a transparent color, it's more of an opaque one. But as I applied more and more of these dye-based inks, a lot of that pigment ink just kind of wiped off. But I didn't have my lighting scheme in here as much anymore. Definitely not with the lightest of tones, but I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out as I went along. I knew what I could do in theory, but I just didn't know how it was going to end up, in this kind of extreme scenario. So I'm working through a lot of different tones. I'm working them from light tones to dark tones. Now you see that deep blue right there? That was right in the middle of a thick layer of white pigment ink, and that's why that looks blue in there. So I added some water to my paper towel just to see if I could wipe off that center section, and it kind of bleached out an area which gave me an idea for another technique that you'll see me apply here very soon. I think this is the Prussian blue, a very dark blue, and I'm kind of applying that on the perimeter. No matter how dark a scene gets, if you haven't gone all the way to black, you can always go darker. So here I'm applying black on the outside, where it's not necessarily making the lighter, like physically lighter, but it looks lighter by contrast. Okay, now, just to get a different texture on here, I splatter painted the dye-based inks with water. And here I'm removing the excess water after allowing the water to kind of bleach out the area for a minute or two. Now, I'm going back into the scene and I'm just completely changing the scenic scenario here. I'm stamping over that buck down low with my mystic imagery. I just went with the mystic imagery just because I've been using those a lot lately. Here's the overhanging bamboo branch right here. Stamping out the little pavilion back in the distance there, and a little fishing boat down below. And we have that. It's still very textural, and there's a lot of, I don't know, it's a little bit too textural still. So one of the things that I do is I add in a little bit more tone over the top of some of those bleached out areas. Right here I'm adding some highlights using the acrylic paint pen. So adding these little defining marks became very important in this kind of low contrast scene, or scenario. Splatter painting over the top of the entire thing, giving it the idea of snowfall. So we're adding another texture that's kind of in the foreground of the scene. I thought word stamp would be kind of cool, so Sound of Silence. And there you go. There's the old scene. Here's the new scene. You can see some of those, I don't know, maybe ghost images of the previous scenario in there. The hill in the background is just about the only thing that really remains visible. But scenic makeovers. Fun things to do and fun things to try. Thanks so much for watching.